are now listening to What's Good, Bro? I'm PSJ,
And I'm PJ.
a podcast where we share new conversations.
On real life experiences men face.
So subscribe
Rate.
and review wherever you get your podcast.
Now to the episode.
Let's go.
So yeah, we're back. Another episode of What's Good, Bro? Where we have new conversations.
Real life.
Real life. On a lighter note, what would you say is your peak of the week?
I've got 2 shows out,
Okay.
and that's Squid Games and Sandman. So, is it about something for me to watch when I go on holidays? Ready to downtown. Thank you.
Talking about Squid Game, I enjoyed the first season. Second, I wasn't.
The second season isn't as good. I think the first was a lot better because it was the first of its type.
Yeah,
Like the second season. So I really hope third one is good because I think this is the final season.
Oh really? Oh, okay. I'll be looking out for your review before I watch. Because I like a good review before I watch anything. But for my own peak would be, it's been raining in Lagos. Apart from the fact that it's, getting an Uber is like difficult because of everyone. Understandably, everyone wants to like chill. Nobody. Yeah, exactly. And Lagos is, Lagos is water. But yeah, it's my favorite time of the year, rainy season. I love when it rains because nobody would just be like, yeah, I'm coming to your house. And you can easily make excuses not to go anywhere like it's raining. But besides that, I get to like have my tea, just unwind, whether it's cold, read a book. So yeah, it's been my peak. It's been raining the whole week and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. But this week we're talking emotions and the mental well-being because I know we've been on a light note, but have you been stressed this year?
Honestly, yes. I've had my moments of stress where I've been, between work, trying to, and other things, just in being a family man.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure I'm a good dad. Yeah. Good. And there are times when I'm just beat. And, the worst kind of stress is the mental stress. You might not be physically stressing yourself. And the mental stress can be overwhelming sometimes where I've realized that when I'm mentally stressed, I just withdraw.
To kind of like, is it to recharge or you're just like?
No, you just feel beat up some days. You just feel like it comes off feeling like you're tired, you're exhausted, and you just want to just be by yourself. But it's far in between. It's not as much as, surely, but it passes, so it's not as bad. Yes. Do you have those days?
Yeah, I can say you speak, and we speak for almost every man, because like a man has to show up, right? Especially if you have people looking up to you, you have responsibilities, because you don't want to be like that one that is always dropping the ball. And sometimes because we always have to show up, and stress, work, traffic, deadlines, and all that. So it's kind of like I've been there a lot of times actually, and it's like you said, the mental stress is the most draining, I would say, because it's like you're feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, literally. But how would you say you're able to navigate stress, like mental stress? How would you say? Is there like a routine? Is there something that you do, or
So for me, one of the greatest things I've found is the gym. So I just every day at least I try to work out. That's like so usually after work I go to the gym and just go relax. Yes, it is heavy lifting, but it's a place where you don't have to think about anything except trying to defeat the weight. It clears your head, relaxes you. Other things I do, I play paddle some days to just go relax my mind. Then I watch series, just things to sort of ease me from things. That's on the non-spiritual. I have my own spiritual. That's what different. That's what different thing. So that's how I handle it. And then some days I just recline and watch movies.
I mean, I know. But it's interesting. It's interesting you spoke about working out. And I was speaking to someone how I believe, I told it was my cousin actually I was speaking to, and I was telling her that I would like to go for that 50-mile marathon at some point in my life. I want to. I was like, that's suffering. But like many times we have to subject our bodies to some certain kinds of suffering to be able to push our mind. Like fasting, for instance. Your body doesn't enjoy fasting, right? But when you deprive yourself of food, I even heard that of food rather. I heard that the best what's it called? Energy that your body uses is when you are not eating. I can't remember how it's called, but that literally it starts working and eating away unnecessary
so it eats away the unnecessary fats. It starts to your body,
even cancerous cells.
so your body starts to heal after it's fully digested all the stuff, like whatever food you eating, digested.
But your body actually doesn't like discomfort. So when you said, for me actually, I love to run. Like if I'm so drained, I'm feeling not motivated, I just ask God for enough strength to lace up my shoes and go for a run. And while I'm on that run, it's like every other thing I'm processing. And the moment I'm able to, minimum I try to do is like 3 kilometers. By the time I'm able to get to that threshold, I come back feeling so refreshed. First off, I feel there's a bit of that energy when we work out, lift heavy. I don't know how it's wiring.
But don't you think it's a mind shift kind of situation?
I think so too, actually.
People think working out is stressful. Some people think it's having to go lift weights. It's almost like hard labor. It's like being a laborer on the side or something.
But I feel it's therapeutic in that sense, because your mind is able to believe that if I'm able to lift this weight, because it's like we said, men are very we're driven with success, we're driven with results. If I'm pushing 50 and I go, and most times when you're not in a good space, you're literally pushing beyond your limit. And if you're able to push physically beyond your limit, your mind is able to feel like this thing I'm passing through, I'll be able to surmount that limit. So I think in a way, psychologically, from our physiological bodies, we were able to like translate that information to the brain that if I'm able to lift and surmount this weight I'm pushing, then this thing on my mind, I'm able to. I honestly feel so, because it's quite therapeutic.
I see what you're saying. I think for me, the way it's helped with mine is, but in line with what you're saying, it is possible. But for me, what has helped me with the mind is for you to lift weights, for you to actually consistently do it. Like I tell people that the hardest work is not in the gym. It's outside of the gym, the discipline of the food you eat, everything. So those kind of things are what help you in life. So the fact that I'd have to do 100 reps of something helps me with pushing through something else. I set the mind over it. Just go through it, because that's what you have to do
at the gym.
The gym is like a training ground. Real life. So for me, that's how it's worked. But and then of course when you're out of there, knowing that you won gives you that. So I live for another day.
Fast actually. But do you think is it a way that we now compartmentalize our lives, that is it like, for instance, like you spoke about like the gym and everything, when you're at the gym you're just like, okay, let me lift this. Do you think it's healthy in that sense, where like because many times I think we've spoken outside of this podcast before how we like push things, like even last episode we're speaking about how we like put things aside. We're at the gym, you're at the gym and trying to work out, because I still know people, like for you it works for you. There are people that leave the gym and they go back to the same problems that they've been facing.
So I think just like in life, in anything you do, your problems can be swept away. Whether you try to sweep it away through drinking, working out, it's still there. So it's just, how do you get that out? That's a whole different conversation. It's all about you being at the gym is not going to take away your problems. It's just help you feel better at the point. But if your problem is still there and it's still going to come and haunt you, it's still going to come and haunt you. So, I think the only benefit of things like the gym is that it gives you a clearer,
mind, and develops mental.
You can think clearly on what to do or what, to go see someone. Because sometimes when you're in your thoughts, you have all these dark thoughts coming in. When you're in in a dark place, you might have dark thoughts coming in. So what the gym might help is have you let go of those dark thoughts for a period of time so you can think a bit clearly. So, and it doesn't have to be the gym. It could be whatever. Different people have different things that they do. Some might listen to music. Some might just go for a run. Like I might just want to take a nap and then wake up. But if you don't take advantage of that period of clarity, and that issue is still there. So, you just have to take that period of clarity and figure out what to do. I think that's what happens, because that's what I do. So period I come out gym when I'm chilling, when I'm okay, right? Then when I think about that problem, I'm like, okay, what can I do? What should I do now? So I have a moment of clarity, and then it comes, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can speak with this person or make a phone call and figure it out. So yeah, that was so. But do you have anything to?
Well, I think for me, it's mainly, when you're trying to focus on breathing alone, because I love to run, like I said earlier. But if you're trying to focus on breathing, it's difficult to focus on another thing. So your mind is like, let me just, like you said, it clears the mind and it makes me have that mental capacity. And like, to be fair, even with my emotions, to be honest, there are times I'm feeling maybe somebody said something to me that I didn't like, and we're going to go into emotions. For me, I love to listen to music a lot. And to be fair, sometimes I let it out. And for some people, it's easy to go to the gym and let out your anger and frustrations, but nobody wants to be lifting weight and be crying, right? So how do you navigate like emotions? We've spoken about mental stress. How about emotional stress? Like, it's not, I don't think lifting weights will be like, how do we navigate? Okay, let me even first add, do you go through emotional stress?
I think if you're human, you will go through emotional stress. It comes from different ways. Of course, the most common emotional stress people go through is through relationships. But there are other ways you could go through emotional stress. Of course, I've been through emotional stress. The way I handle emotional stress is different from physical stress. But they still work hand in hand, because the gym has helped me with emotional stress. Music has helped me with emotional stress. But with emotional stress, it's, it can be complicated, because sometimes you do need to speak with someone. You definitely go to speak with someone. Look, I'm going to tell everyone today, if you're going through something, find someone you can speak to, because, I think we don't harness that enough. We don't understand how important that is. When it comes to something emotional, it is better to speak to someone, even if it's a friend, it's a colleague, or a therapist. You need to let it out, because holding on to emotions can only breed worse emotions. If you're upset about something, if you hold it in, your thoughts, your mind start to, enlarge it. So something little might have happened. So PJ might piss me off.
Yeah.
And I start to say, oh, yeah, he did this last week.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, that's how he did it. Because I'm in my thoughts.
So resentment.
If the resentment starts to go, the anger starts to grow. Next thing you see, I'm coming near you and you're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And I'm punching you in the face. Like, what's wrong with you? That's how you done it 4 years ago. But if I had spoken to someone and someone had said, yeah, but that's how Paul is.
Yeah.
And then it's just all been palmed. My mind can't. Or if I'm having an issue, someone can bring to my attention, really like the it's in our Paul Geek.
Yeah.
That
is the issue.
That is the issue. It's just how you feel.
Perceives up it. Yeah.
It's perception. So I think when it comes to emotional stress, right, it's advisable to find someone you can speak to. Now, even if it's the person that caused you that stress, you need to speak and get the clarity. I think that's very important.
But do you think men speak to each other enough? Okay, let me even ask a question. How many of your friends come to you to speak to you about their emotions?
None. So let me tell you why. The way men look at things are different. They will tell you what happened, but they don't talk about emotions. So how they do it is, I've noticed that most guys, even myself, even my friends, they won't tell you as the thing has happened. They might give you the gist in retrospect, but they give it to you as gist. So it's always like, yo, can you believe what just happened yesterday? Blah, 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 blah. And it pissed me off. No, it's not good. You get it's never, yo, I want to talk about this. This is really bothering me.
Why do we have an issue talking about stuff as men? As men, like, to be honest.
See, I'm trying to figure it out myself, but I think there's an ego to it. I think there's a way you really do not want someone looking at you like, oh, you're weak. You know? Even amongst men, you don't want to look weak. So it's not even in the eyes of the female now. Between a man to a man, you don't want to look weak.
But is that really a good thing? Because I stand here, honestly, there are times that we've been like having conversations that have been going through it, and I actually didn't have the conversation with you, right? And it stems from not being weak, and not wanting to be a burden, not want to be like it's just, I usually say that not to excuse anything, but like it's easier for a female to be like going through and her friend come and cry on my shoulder, but I don't think anything will make me want to cry on your shoulder.
Because men are solution based. We try to. The only time you would most probably come to me is if you've tried everything and you're like, you know what, I need your help, and it's usually financial. But hardly do you see men come and cry to another man that yo.
Well, men cry.
No, of course, men cry.
Men cry, but why do you think? Why do we? Men cry. I've cried. I won't lie. I've cried. Like, but why do we find it difficult? Like most times, like 90% of the times, men cry alone.
That's what I was about to say. It's always in your private because of that pride and ego. You don't want to look weak. You don't want anyone to make you feel. And you see, we have to understand that society has not made it easy. Because for the moments that men have cried, they've been mocked. So there's this issue of, you know, because even if it's either you're mocked by your friends saying what's going on. The truth is, even as we're cool, if you just start crying, I'll be confused first. From the vibes, if I have a female coming and crying, I'll be more like, oh,
are you good?
I'll be shocked with a man to man crime, because I'll be like, okay, what do I do? Are you okay? It bothers you more, but sometimes you don't know, because you end up hearing the guy say it's fine, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good, because you still default back to that.
Yeah.
That
self-preservation.
Yeah, where I don't want to hurt you.
I think it's easier for men to cry when we are grieved, when we are in grief, when we lose someone. It's easier because there's an excuse to be like, oh yeah, I lost someone. And even at that, we're not like crying and bawling. It's just that.
I'll give you a scenario. You see, we say that, but you notice that most men tend to cry less if they have to be strong for someone else. So I've noticed that. I had a situation. There was a situation where we lost someone really close, and it was the father telling the son to stop crying within less than a week. So we have that's why I say society, because you have that, you know how it is in Nigeria. If a man is kind of say, act like a man, don't cry, can't be crying. So you have the society making you feel like, look, you can't, you shouldn't. So in your mindset from being a child, I even have to catch myself sometimes doing it to my boys when you're like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
Why are you crying? So I think it's something that from the youthful age, we've been conditioned not to cry. But then even now, when they say cry, the moment you cry, either your girlfriend mocks you, your friends mock you, and these are the same people saying it's okay for me.
You know, when we were talking about crying, I remember that Tyrese video when he was crying. That video was used as a meme for life. And he was crying for something valid. I think he was trying to take custody of his daughter at the time. And he was crying for something valid. Yeah.
The whole world turned into a meme.
So sorry, guys.
That's society.
Yeah. But I was gonna ask a question regarding crying for men, because like you said, where is the balance? Because right now we hear do not cry, and men will always have a need to cry, to be honest. Sometimes you just want to just let go, like we're not machines. Like even our cars, we need to change oil, right? So obviously there are times that you'll be very, very, you need to just let go of that. Like you can't keep everything inside, right? There's a reason why God gave us that teary gland and everything. But I also, like you said, there are times where men have been, like you said, you don't want to come to a man or somebody for solution and everything. Like for instance, you're coming to the house, I'm like, oh my God, something just happened. You're crying at every given opportunity. And that's where I feel like, my opinion, men have been emasculated. It's okay to cry. It's okay. I think the thing we should do, I remember what I was going to say now is, like you said, why are you crying? It may not come from, you may not stop the male child from crying. It's like, I saw a video actually, a boy was on like, he had a stroller and he had like, things connected to his leg. Apparently, I think he's trying to like get rehabilitated to walk, and he was trying to fall, but he didn't fall. So he was crying. His father was trying to get him to make a basket, but he removed the stroller off of him and he was able to stand with the help of the things attached to his both feet. And he wanted to fall and he was going to cry, and dad was like, why are you crying? But you didn't fall. You don't cry over something not happening, right? If you fell, I can understand that you're crying because you fell and you hurt yourself, right? I think it's for men to understand, like, you can process as to why are you feeling this. It's okay to, but because what I've now realized is that they said it's okay for men to cry. Fine, yeah, it's okay for men to cry, but now we're having so many cry babies, crying men, crying. Like, to be very honest, it's so,
You're gonna catch a
nah. To be very honest, if I'm being honest, because I feel like there's a responsibility on men, right? And I'm not saying it from a standpoint where we can't be human, right? But there's a responsibility on men to be protectors. Like, someone knocks at your door 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and it's danger. You're not going to, you're even if you're not, even if they've outgunned you, right? You're not there. Cry. Even if you beg, right? There's a logical way. A woman can cry and be like, oh my God, what's happening? But like you said, there's so many crybabies.
Men are logical, right? And men should remain logical. Like you said, your cry should have a why. You must know the reason you're shedding your tears, because you are made to be a protector, like you said, made to be a provider. You can't cry at every failure. You must understand why those tears need to roll. At the point where they need to roll, then let them roll. But if you can avoid it and find a way through, there's no need to cry, because that's the building blocks. You know, I was watching somebody yesterday and I can't remember who said it, but he was saying that we need to bring back the old-fashioned dads. We need to bring back the ones that tell you push through. The ones, not the toxic type.
Yeah.
The ones that will tell you can't fail. Didn't fail. You can push further. The ones that will motivate you to be the man that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not the social way of, the people pushing this narrative of men should cry or women. And it's men. That's, you feel me? It's like, but they're two different makeups. So the women are more emotional and are more logical. If you want a man to be there, who's going to provide? Because who's going to protect? We always laugh at the fact that if you hear a knock on the door in the middle of the night, right? It is your duty as a man.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah, I mean, we want to talk on equality. So
Yeah.
why is it that the woman says, go check it?
Yeah.
So you have to be bold. What if you start crying like she's crying and everybody starts crying? Who's going to be the one to be? So in those times.
I'm sure even the people knocking will be shocked.
But it's like, hey, okay, that's no. But there should be a why. There should be a logical sense. The tears are good. I will be man enough to tell you there are movies that make me cry.
Facts. Oh, but
Don't.
nope. I was going, like, there was a day we were watching that movie at the men's meeting. Yeah, like, yo, it will shock you that everybody, like, I won't lie, I was in my corner, I tearing up, boy, just trying to keep it cool. How good? Because it would have been, honestly, as much as people are saying cry, imagine if we put out a video of that meeting. It was a men's meeting, and everybody was like,
We had about 20 men,
yeah,
and no one saw each other cry. Easy.
yeah, and we're not like far apart. It was like,
Right.
yeah,
We were in a circle.
yeah,
And that was a true real life mock-up of what happens in real life. So that was a true mock-up of what happens in real life, where men would stand with each other, go through an emotional process, and no one would see each other.
yeah,
You feel me? So we all watched the movie, everyone confessed later they cried, but no one saw the other cry. They found ways to
mask it up. Yeah.
we all came out talking like, oh,
Yeah, we're good result.
I do believe men should emote their emotions, but in everything there should be a level. Even with women, do you see a woman that is too emotional, you complain?
Yes, yeah.
There are measures to this stuff.
I just feel like for men, we need to find more spaces that we find safety in. Because one thing I realized is that with men are naturally closer to their moms. Men naturally are closer to their moms. I don't know, it may be like naturally, because dad is always like the one that's like, and we just find that safety. We can easily go back to moms and we leave the house. Exactly, right? It's rather funny that women create it for their sons, but most women do not create it for their husbands. And to balance it out, I was also going to say that men are very, very emotional to their daughters. I saw a video on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. Not always, but yeah, I love Instagram. I saw a video on Instagram and the man was like, he loves his daughter so much that there's nothing even he knows if they go to the mall and she's going to ask for like ice cream, he knows it's not good for her, but he just finds himself buying it for her. And it reminded me of one things that the Holy Spirit told me. Not like I'm trying to be overly spiritual. So I wasn't even in a relationship. I was like, your wife should be your first daughter. And it literally disarmed me, because I'm not going to be seeing tantrums as tantrums. I'm not going to be seeing her as putting up like fight or anything. I'm just like, she's just been, right? And then, like I said, with men and mothers, there's that closure. But we
Feel comfortable.
Yeah. And we crave, because many times for men, we leave the safe space of the home because we're trying to make something out. We don't want to be funny story, this is reality. A lady that stays near my house, she has a child, and literally we were walking, let's say like maybe about 500 meters away from the house, where like real traffic situation happening. The guy was holding the mom. The moment we got to our street, he just let go of his hand. She was like, let me like, and he was like, and this boy is like maybe 4 or 5. There's always that independence from a man that you want to be. That's why we leave the house. But at the same time, we still crave the nurturing, the protection of the mother hen.
And you want it from your new spouse.
Yeah, and we're looking for that space. And if we also find safety around men, because like you said, with Tyrese, we all laughed at it, even if we felt it, right? Because sometimes you'll be telling your guys and they will be there to support you. And one day they'll look at this guy, that's why you're just crying. They may not.
But what happens? They'll go to the other friend and be like,
this guy.
oh, crying.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
So I think it's you're saying it's okay to like be emotional, but we just want to find safe spaces.
Yes, you do need to find a safe space, a space where it's okay for you to just I think we think about emotion just with tears. No, even if it means you having to speak through something.
Yeah, speak your fears.
The fears, your the things that your angers,
your insecurities, also
the things that have bothered you, your traumas. Who can I speak to about my traumas that can understand? Who can I speak to and not feel judged? Who can I just come to when I'm feeling a bit depressed? Who can make me feel better?
Man.
Who can speak a word that will get me lifted? Can I trust? We don't have those relationships. Even with men, for example, the reason why we don't feel comfortable amongst ourselves is because between ourselves, a guy can be best friends, well, very good friends with someone and never know their name.
Yeah, so it's always bro.
But we don't. So that's
what's good, bro.
So we don't do,
bonding there. Yeah.
Most times you don't even know what's going on in the other person's life. If he's married or not married, the connection is based off of wherever you met. So if it's on soccer, it's based off soccer. Who should pass that? We just need to find ways to reconnect with each other and just be those people for other people. I think it starts from ourselves, because we are safe spaces for people. They will become safe.
Facts, actually.
This is for us. Problem is we are not. So for example, if you're sitting with me, you're like, yeah, PSG, you can be it should be a safe space for you. But you laugh at other people. in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, facts.
Even if you feel like you want to be that friend,
Yeah.
conscious
Yeah.
of how we act around people.
It's interesting you spoke about this because, to be honest, like I'm wondering many times that, like, especially when I spoke about my own addiction and coming out of it, I literally will find people calling me and telling me, "Yo, I'm struggling, I'm going through." But like you said, people just would men especially want to know, can I trust this person? Because
have you been through it?
yeah,
Do you understand what
exactly. And even with understanding, can you keep the sacredness of what I'm telling you? Because many times, I won't even lie, a few men have come to tell me, "Yo, I'm struggling with this, like some things I'm like, oh wow, thank you for trusting me with that." And it's now on me to ensure that there's that bro code to ensure that their secret is safe in that sense, because that's where people feel.
Why do females feel more comfortable doing it? Like they can talk to anybody.
I know, bro. I think maybe we need to get another female on this podcast to get it from the female side, because I can't speak for the female. It comes so easily for them.
For them, they can meet you today and just, bro.
Yeah, and I think it's easier even for men to speak to women than men.
No, I disagree on that.
Really? Because I know some guys we just
okay. Actually, I don't fully disagree because you're right. I think it comes from when they think the female has divulged and trust them, so they feel. But most times, the man would rather not speak again because they usually used.
What you say against?
Especially when they're angry.
What you say will be used against you in the court of law.
If you go tell someone that I have, trauma.
Yeah.
Made me somewhat angry, and I get angry at time. The moment you get angry at that person, like, you better go and deal with your traumas. And you're like,
You lost him.
again, will I tell you?
Yeah.
That might not be an intentional thing on our part, but it's been said. And then that guy will lock up forever.
Yeah.
Feel he will never. So it's just something we have to work on ourselves.
Yeah, I think there's a wisdom in navigating. You just have to be like safe spaces for people, right? We have to be, as much as you want men to cry, these spaces, safe spaces for them to cry, right? There's a line.
And I think we need to understand what the definition of crying is. When we say cry, it just means leaning on someone. You're not necessarily tears flowing. It just
I can be vulnerable.
like, can you be vulnerable?
Yeah. Fact actually. Finally, about emasculating men, because we have if I see, okay, let me leave my intrusive thoughts, because I was going to say something, but let's just leave it. But what do you have to say about, because and I think it's even stemming from the fact that a lot of times you don't find a lot of active men in the lives of kids, boys. So you find I saw a video of a boy. He fell, and the mom, "Oh my God, did you hurt yourself?" But he fell. His dad was like, "Yo, you good? All right, get up." And that little exchange from both parties can shape how the mind of the boy thinks, right? And I think that is, I think that's the reason why we have a lot of men who are very emasculated. They've lived so much, so they've been trained by women. It sounds ironic. I was raised by a woman, but she was a strong-willed woman, and I had a lot of male figures in my life, right? My uncles would always be around. I was always going on holidays at my uncles, so I had male figures. I knew how to deal. In fact, there were times that she would get tired. I'm like, you know what? I'm sending you to your uncles to deal with you. But do you think that is playing a role? Absent men in the lives of families is playing a role on how men have been emasculated?
Studies on it. So there have been studies to show the role of a father, and the importance of a father. There have been studies to show that even with women, they have father figures, how it affects them. There have been studies to show that single fathers tend to raise that, like the fathers that end up raising the kids turn out better than, like, the percentage of kids turn out better than the single mother household.
Oh wow.
You feel me? So it's just the importance of men, and that's why we need to get men to understand their role. Men need to go back and study what the true role of a man is. A lot of us have lost our ways, and I'm speaking about all men. We don't understand the true nature, because We learn our focus of who we're supposed to be from the social media, which has its own agenda. So they're saying, "Oh, men can wear skirts." You know,
So if you're in Scotland or you're from Edo State, please.
men can be whatever they can be, except being a man. So when you take that away, and I always say this,
Toxic masculinity.
and the reason I feel bad is because the people that end up suffering it really are women. Do you get, like, they'll be, because when there are no more men, or every man is a so-called,
Yeah.
so it affects.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think every man needs to go back,
Yeah.
look within, try to figure out what the true nature of a man should be, and try to readjust himself.
So I'll ask one question, but I was going to say something. The question would be, how do you think men can go back? What are, like, I'm a young man watching this podcast, practical steps. What can I do? Are there guidelines? But I was going to say, I saw a video and it was like, they said sexual predators usually go for kids without fathers.
Yeah. Because they don't have to protect.
And it's actually wild, actually.
It's easier.
It's-
Yeah. You don't have anyone to go report to. You don't have that protector. It's missing. So you can easily get away with it. I realized if you notice, even the girls that have been abused, in front of that, most of them, if the mothers knew, right? Because maybe it's an uncle or there's that, let's not spoil this family.
Yeah.
But imagine if a father,
Bruh.
everybody
Bruh.
going down.
You're going to get some.
Everybody's doing that. And I remember when I didn't get a daughter, I wanted a daughter. So and I was like, this is gonna be my last kid. When I didn't get a girl, I was like, you know what? Thank God I didn't get a girl. Maybe I was a cute song,
Yeah.
but not to be cute. But the whole idea is that I just think it's not easy being a man in today's world, because there are many pressure points. There are many things that you have to do to maintain a certain level. But the only thing I can tell the young man now is that you have to persevere. One of the things that make you a man is the fact that you can go through these things, right, and come out on the other side. You will come out. When we talk about going through, at least you're going through. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, because you have to carry that mantle, right, for the family.
Yeah.
You got to protect your wife. You have to protect your kids. These are roles. These are responsibilities, and you have to live up to them. It's kind of like a woman crying over having to carry a baby.
Yeah.
She's been created.
With that, yeah.
The womb is created to have the baby be formed in.
Yeah.
So you can't cry over what
you have been given the capacity to
do.
Yeah.
So I know every man has the capacity to be a leader, a protector, a provider. So we just have to come into that,
Yeah.
come into it and
Yeah.
live out that capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree actually, because even physiologically we were built different. Like I've seen videos of people like they try that cramps on them, we can't deal with it, but physically lifting heavy, the body of a man is built to lift heavier than women, right? So I, like you said, actually it's just for people to understand, especially men, understand their functions, their roles, and just embrace it. And just, yeah, there's a lot to speak about when regarding men. Yeah,
Don't worry, we have more episodes.
we have more episodes, more conversations, real life. Yeah.
New conversations, real
Life.
All right, so I guess we'll end here then.
Yeah, I guess so.
See
Yeah.
you next time.
See you next time. All right.
Thank you for listening to What's Good, Bro.
You can send us questions using the email in our show notes.
Remember to rate,
Review
share,
and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast.